The Texas Broadband Development Office awards $29 million to enhance flood monitoring systems and enlarge broadband access in rural central Texas. CPUC awards $21 million for expansion of broadband in California. TikTok reaches a deal to keep on ticking in the U.S. Streaming continues to break viewing records, and another look at the GAO decision last month on the NTIA's restructuring policy notice. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. $29 million has been awarded to the Lower Colorado River Authority, the grant made by the Texas Broadband Development Office for expansion of broadband access in rural communities, as well as improvements to flood monitoring systems in central Texas. Tower sites in those systems will be upgraded in the region. LCRA originally was authorized to develop and operate middle-mile broadband projects that would improve connectivity for rural communities by state legislation dating back to 2021. CPUC, the California Public Utilities Commission, has approved 4 grants totaling $21 million from its last-mile federal funding account. The grants will be executed by the California Broadband Alliance, Stimulus Technologies, and the Contra Costa Transportation Authority. The projects will improve high-speed broadband access to more than 64,000 households, small businesses, and community institutions in the counties of Monterey, Inyo, and Contra Costa. Since its inception, the Last Mile Federal Funding Account has approved more than $1.23 billion in grants for 122 broadband projects in 58 counties across California. Last month, we told you about the Government Accountability Office decision that NTIA's BEAD restructuring notice last June had violated procedural rules mandating congressional review. The GAO review was requested by Colorado Senator Michael Bennet within days of the June 6th policy notice. In a Broadband.io article, Doug Adams writes about Senator Bennett's opposition to the NTIA's June 2025 policy notice and potential action to preserve BEAD's initial intent by way of a Congressional Review Act. There's much more to come on this, and again, find that article at broadband.io. The National Association of Broadcasters has filed comments with the FCC, urging the Commission to take swift action on the transition from ATSC 1.0 to the current broadcast standard, ATSC 3.0, or Next Gen TV. NAB asking for a date certain sunset or cutoff of ATSC 1.0 and that all new television sets be able to receive the 3.0 signals. In previous efforts, NAB has asked for the 1.0 cutoff to be 2028 for larger markets, 2030 for the rest of the country. TikTok finalizing a deal this week to keep operating here in the U.S. with more than 200 million users nationwide. U.S. operations will be managed by a new entity with Oracle overseeing data and algorithm training. Concerns over national security stretched out the negotiation for more than 2 years. Oracle, private equity firm Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi-based MGX will each own 15% of the new entity, with existing TikTok investors owning roughly 30%. Concerns remain about influence by TikTok parent ByteDance, which retained 20% ownership. Well, how much does local broadcasting contribute to U.S. economic activity? According to a study by Woods and Pool Economics Incorporated, $1.19 trillion in GDP and 2.46 million jobs nationwide. The research also noting that broadcasters are the backbone of the nation's emergency alert system and also affect other economic sectors from construction to retail, adding another $134 billion in GDP. 2025, a big year for media and telecom deals, even before considering the $82.7 billion Netflix Warner Brothers deal. Volume from June to December 2025 was up 61% from the prior year. Mergers and acquisitions benefited tremendously from favorable financing conditions, strategic portfolio realignments, and a rejuvenated investor appetite for premium intellectual property. Among the notable deals, the $55 billion take private of Electronic Arts by PIF Silver Lake and Affinity Partners, and Nexstar acquiring Tegna for $6.2 billion. New records for streaming volume in December. According to Nielsen, streaming now accounts for 47.5% of all TV viewing. In fact, on Christmas Day, 2025, more than 55 billion minutes were streamed. And finally, there are now more than 1 million .ai websites, and that's been a gold rush for the British Overseas Territory of Anguilla. Why, you ask? Well, ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigning Names and Numbers, gave the island of Anguilla the .ai top-level domain back in the mid-90s. Last year, sale of .ai domains allowed Anguilla to generate $70 million. That's about half of all government revenue. It's good to be lucky. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.